April 24th, 1993, Catoosa, Oklahoma. The deadliest F4 tornado Oklahoma has ever seen.
At that time, when your power went off, my TV came on to the lowest channel on the dial, and it was channel 2. And it came back on and flashed Catoosa, take cover right now.
Is approaching. In only 10 minutes, it will tear a town apart and never be talked about again. Oklahoma is called the tornado capital of the world. When people think of the worst tornado this state has ever seen, they think of one day, May 3rd, 1999. That day, a tornado hit Bridge Creek and more with the fastest winds ever measured on Earth, over 300 miles per hour. Everyone remembers that one.
And what you're looking at there is a violent, rapidly rotating tornado, estimated width there about an eighth to maybe a quarter of a mile wide. And again, winds in there approaching 200 miles an hour. Where we are, we have winds flowing into the tornado right now at about 70 to 80 miles an hour.
But 6 years before it, another tornado hit Oklahoma. It was the deadliest the Tulsa area had ever seen, and almost no one remembers it.
And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and faster and faster and faster, and I'm afraid.
It's a warm Saturday evening in late April. In Oklahoma, tornado season doesn't really start until May, so no one is watching the sky. Families are out, trucks roll down Interstate 44. It feels like a normal weekend. But high in the sky, something dangerous is building. Warm, wet air pushes up from the south. A cold front pushes down from the north. The sun bakes the ground. Little by little, the air fills with power, like a trap being set. Just west of Tulsa, one storm starts to grow.
And here we go. This is David. David tracked this from Lawton beginning around 4 o'clock yesterday. It developed over Comanche County, and the tornadoes increased both in size and intensity.
North about an eighth of a mile, and I mean, it's wrapped up.
Multiple vortex in structure, 4, 5, even 6 tornadoes on the ground at the same time underneath the parent tornado circulation. Signs of a very violent tornado, and this obviously developed into the Newcastle, Moore, Midwest City, Del City, Choctaw tornado.
Then it blows up fast. In minutes, it stands over the city, huge, dark, and flat. At 6:45 p.m., tornado sirens scream across Tulsa. 3 minutes later, at 6:48, a tornado drops out of the storm on the east side of the city. But this storm doesn't make one tornado, it makes 2. They spin side by side about a mile apart. One is strong, the other is even stronger. And there's a problem. The rain is so heavy that no one can see them. They are hidden inside the storm. The drivers on Interstate 44 have no idea what is coming. On that highway, a family is driving toward Tulsa. The sky ahead turns a color they have never seen.
Report now, and I'm on I-44. Yeah, they're calling their possible tornadoes off the west side of Catoosa right now.
It doesn't look like a storm. It looks like a wall. The rain and hail pour down so hard, the dad can't see the road. He pulls over.
Okay, guys, hang on. We got help coming on the way. There's someone down in the ditch. Okay.
He stops the car. He tells everyone to get down. They don't know it yet, but they have stopped just a few miles from a tornado grinding across the ground. Invisible, buried inside the rain. The storm races northeast into East Tulsa. It slams into the Memorial Drive United Methodist Church, a building where people were supposed to gather for Sunday service the very next morning. The walls tore open. The roof came down. Power lines snapped across the street. And then, just like that, it lifted. Gone. The rain eased. For a few seconds, it was quiet. Quiet enough to think the worst was over. It wasn't. 5 miles east, it came back down. And this time, it was pointed straight at a highway full of people who never saw it coming. At a truck stop on that highway, Bruce's.
And we passed the truck stop down there, we heard a siren go off, and we saw the clouds of stuff coming, so we stopped our truck, and 4 of us were in the car, and we stopped our truck and got down in the ditch and went through hell. I think the thing went right over the top of us, a lot of hail, and Metal was flying. My truck rolled down the hill just in back of us, and we just kept our heads down and prayed.
A man named Fred Lowry is about to pull back onto the road. Just then, a wall of cloud drops from the sky right in front of him. He never gets on the highway. He runs inside instead. Dozens of people are already crowding in, trying to hide from something they can't even see. Outside, big trucks fill the lot. More cars pull in off the highway to wait out the rain. It is almost 7 p.m. Not one of them knows that 2 tornadoes are only seconds away, heading straight for this spot. It's almost 7 p.m. A Catoosa police officer is driving through the rain. He can barely see past his own windshield. Water and hail slam the glass. Then, out of the gray, a shape rises up in front of him. At first, it looks like a wall of fog, but it's moving. It's spinning. It's not fog. It's the tornado, and he is about to drive straight into it. He stops just in time and grabs his camera. What he films becomes some of the only real footage of the storm. A giant, rain-wrapped monster, almost a mile wide, hiding inside the rain. When it first dropped down, it was small. Now, it is a beast. It has grown into an F4 with winds over 200 miles an hour. And it isn't alone. A second tornado spins beside it, about a mile away. 2 funnels, side by side, grinding toward the same highway at the same time. The first thing in their path is Bruce's truck stop. Inside, dozens of people press against the walls. Fred Lowry is with them. They can't see the tornado, but now they can hear it. It sounds like a freight train that will not stop. The floor shakes. Their ears pop. The air itself feels wrong. Then it hits. The roof tears off. Windows blow out. Big rigs.
There's about 8 or 10 of us that got in there. And everybody got hit by a lot of debris until it passed over.
In May, there were more than 177 tornadoes sighted, including a killer twister in Wiley, Texas on May 9th.
Trucks that weigh thousands of pounds lift off the ground and tumble like toys. Cars flip through the air. Steel screams. In seconds, the whole truck stop is ripped down to a pile of twisted metal. The parking lot becomes a graveyard of trucks. 2 truckers, J.D. Williamson and Elas Bergamy, are still inside their cab when the wind lifts it off the ground. Then, a single steel beam falls across the truck and pins it down. That beam is the only reason they live. Others are not so lucky. Out on the open highway, in a car, is a family from Chicago. A mom, a dad, 2 more. They are hundreds of miles from home, just passing through, at the worst spot at the worst second. There is no time to run, and there's nowhere to hide. They never make it out. By 7 p.m., 6 people are gone, and the truck stop was only the halfway point. The storm crosses Interstate 44 and pushes straight into the town of Catoosa. Everything you just watched happened in about 1 minute, and the tornado still has half its path left to run. Now, it is aimed at streets full of homes. The clock has barely moved. Over the next 60 seconds, the tornado rips through one neighborhood after another. Whole streets come apart. Roofs peel away. Walls cave in. 45 homes are destroyed. A mobile home park is flattened. Trailers lifted up and thrown like paper plates. It reaches a nursing home and tears the roof off right over the heads of people too old and too weak to run. Then it slams into Catoosa High School and rips the building open. By now, only 2 or 3 minutes have passed since that first touchdown. A firefighter drives to the top of a hill and freezes. Below him, the whole town is vanishing into a wall of spinning rain. Homes, the school, the nursing home, power lines snapping like threads, cars thrown into ditches. He says later he knew, right then, it was far bigger than anything he could fix. Then, at 7:03 p.m., a mile north of town, it ends. The roar fades, the wind drops, the rain thins. The tornado lifts back into the clouds as fast as it came down. And just like that, it's gone. From the first touchdown to the last, only about 10 minutes have passed. In that time, a tornado no one could even see carved a 6-mile scar across Tulsa and Catoosa. A truck stop, a school, a nursing home, and hundreds of homes torn apart. 7 people did not survive it. By 7:03, it was over. In its last mile, the tornado came apart fast, dropping from an F4 to an F3, then an F2, an F1, until the spinning wall of rain pulled back into the clouds and vanished. In about 10 minutes, it had cut 6 miles across Tulsa and Catoosa, with winds over 200 miles an hour. It flattened a truck stop, ripped open a high school, tore the roof off a nursing home, and destroyed dozens of homes, around $100 million in damage. Then came the silence. And in that silence, people started counting who was gone. 7 people did not come home that night. 6 of them died in one place, the truck stop. And 4 of those 6 were a single family. Here's what we know about them. They were from Chicago. They were driving a van down Interstate 44 to visit relatives near Oklahoma City. On the way, they'd stopped at the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, where the kids ran and played on the grass before climbing back in and heading south. And they pulled onto the wrong stretch of highway at the wrong minute. Here's what we don't know: their names, their ages, what the parents did, what the kids dreamed about, who was waiting for them in Oklahoma. In almost every record of this storm, they are just a family from Chicago passing through. 4 people gone in seconds, hundreds of miles from home, and history barely wrote them down. But one of them lived. A 13-year-old girl named Erin Haynes survived that van. Just hours earlier, she'd been laughing on the grassy hill under the arch with her little sister. One of the last easy moments before everything came apart. She walked away from the worst minute of her life. Most of her family did not. Others survived by inches. 2 truckers were still in their cab when the wind lifted it off the ground and lived only because a single steel beam dropped across the truck and pinned it down. Fred Lowry, who ducked inside the truck stop seconds before it came apart, walked out without a scratch. A Navy veteran who said that day changed how he saw the rest of his life. And a firefighter who crested the hill and watched the whole town disappear into the rain knew right then it was bigger than anything he could fix. 1 town, 10 minutes, a truck stop, a school, a nursing home, and a family from 1,000 miles away, gone. This was a 200-mile-an-hour tornado that almost no one talks about. Think about that. The deadliest tornado the Tulsa area has ever seen. 2 funnels on the ground at once. A truck stop wiped off the map. A high school, a nursing home, hundreds of homes. Gone in 10 minutes. Still the last F4 to ever strike Tulsa County, and almost no one remembers it happened. And there's a reason for that. In the years right after Catoosa, Oklahoma got hit by the most famous tornadoes in American history. Bridge Creek in 1999.
It's now around 7:30 p.m. and darkness is closing in. Sheriff Jolly knows that time is running out to find 10-month-old Aaliyah. He parks his patrol car near the Cragos' destroyed house. With his dashboard camera still running, he searches the nearby woods. Something catches his eye at the base of the tree.
It looked to me like a rag doll. The baby's little face was in the mud, so the baby wasn't saying anything.
Sheriff Jolly quickly wipes mud from the eyes of the limp infant. Then, after being thrown 100 feet, baby Aaliyah is still alive.
With the fastest winds ever recorded on Earth. Then the Moore and El Reno monsters of 2013. Those became the storms everyone studies, everyone films, everyone remembers. Catoosa got buried underneath them. A smaller town, a shorter path, and 4 of its dead who weren't even from here. No hometown to keep their names alive. But forgotten doesn't mean it didn't matter. A whole family died on that highway. A 13-year-old girl grew up carrying a day the rest of us will never understand. This storm was real. These people were real. And the only thing worse than a tragedy this big is a tragedy this big that the world just let itself forget. So, now you know. April 24th, 1993, Catoosa, Oklahoma. 10 minutes that tore a town apart. The tornado history almost erased for good. And if you want to see what came after, the 2013 monsters that buried Catoosa in the history books, the El Reno and more tornadoes are on screen right now. Thank you for watching.